Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. So back in the car again today. So it's haircut day for Dad. So they've spent the better part of the day with us. So I've just taken them home. So I took Dad to the hairdresser's, got his hair cut, and while Dad was having his hair trimmed, I took Mum down to one of our local garden centres. So she's had a rather lovely kind of lunchtime perusing the garden centre, buying plants for garden. And then after I picked Dad back up again, I've just taken them home, dropped them off, and I'm just on my way back home again. So yeah, it's been a rather nice day today. The weather's behaved itself. It's all dry and quite warm, so much so that I haven't got a coat on today, look. I've still got a jumper on, sweater, but no coat. It's just, the temperature is quite warm. 17 degrees C, which is 63 degrees Fahrenheit. So there you go. So it's not too bad today at all. It's quite balmy, quite nice. Just very pleasant. So it's 7:05 on Saturday morning, and somebody's off to work.
Morning, everyone.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Goole.
Where's Goole?
Goole is 30 miles away from here, so it's going towards Doncaster way.
It's going over towards Hull, actually.
Is it? Okay.
So you're heading east today?
I am. The School of Steampunk today, which is a one-day show. Curated market by Mike and Jane, and it's going to be a good day.
Excellent.
And the sun's out.
It is. The sun is definitely out. Look at that. Already the sun is up and streaming through the windows. So I hope you have a very productive and profitable day.
I'll try and do a little bit of filming too.
That would be lovely. That's your packed lunch.
Okay, the car is defrosted. It was actually frozen last night.
Oh, lovely.
But the sun is out and the sun is shining.
Spring frost.
Yes.
You can see it on top of the car.
Oh, I know. I'm quite organised this morning though.
Makes a change.
I've not got a huge amount of stock, so it's easy for me to do.
Brilliant.
See you all later.
So because Ian's away today, it obviously falls to me then to walk Mr Bentley. So we've been out, it's now about 8:15 in the morning. So we've been out about half an hour. It doesn't really need a long walk in the morning. There's long walkers in the afternoon. But he seems to be in quite good spirits this morning. He's very bouncy. So hopefully when we get back he'll have some breakfast and then he'll probably go back to bed. or he'll get ensconced on the patio furniture in the garden because the sun's out, which will leave me free to sit and film a project for this evening. I want to do a mixed media canvas using the Finnabair Queens of Steam cast that I did the other day. I've put together a little composition already, so I've got an idea of what I want to do and what I want to put where. It's only a small one, it's only going to be another little mini 6-inch canvas, but it'll be fun. See, you're very bouncy this morning, Mr Bentley, aren't you? So, we're back from our walk, and this is the composition that I was telling you about with the Queens of Steam. So that's the MDF clock that you can see in the background is a new product from May. Ta-da! So that's what these are. There'll be 2 in a pack. So these are real nice steampunky clock faces, great for backgrounds, great for blinging up with a bit of flake or gold paint or silver paint or copper paint or whatever, but they're thin enough that you can actually cut them with scissors. So you'll be able to cut them in half or cut them into segments and stick them into backgrounds of cards and projects and that kind of thing. But also, ta-da, what I've been waiting for ages, I've got some Medite 2mm ATCs, yay! So proper 2.5 by 3.5 inches. And they'll be going on sale in May as well, so watch this space for those.
Well, it's just after 8 o'clock in the morning and I've arrived at Goole. What a lovely place, some lovely places, and I'm at the School of Steampunk ready for setting up. I've had some very, very lovely buns, some very lovely cakes, and it all looks lovely because it's all homemade. I think that diet might have to go out the window again, just for today, but shh, don't tell Mike. The building is something else. It is absolutely brilliant. Look at that, and look at the sky. We have a blue sky, ladies and gentlemen. It's an old Victorian school. I went to a school like this, but not in the Victorian times. My first street was Crossley Street, and that's what this was like. But how beautiful is that?
Being optimistic about using the big ones. Right. Oh. Going to the charity shop.
There's nothing in there. and I've come outside the venue and I have come to find the caravan. And look at this dapper gentleman here. Good morning, sir.
Hello, mate.
And a vision in red and black as usual. Just come to look at the trike. Oh, have you flown here? It's amazing.
Good morning.
And the racer. Look at that. The storm chaser. I love that. The gentleman we just saw in the red and black Ian, he built that. Isn't it amazing? And Karen has got a new outfit. Give us a twirl, Karen. Wow. You look amazing. Oh, lovely. You look fabulous.
I will get this squeaky chair fixed if it's the last thing I do this week.
Not the chair, it's you.
It's old age, I'm afraid. It's Sunday. It's just approaching 2:30. And although it's the day of rest, we've both been working. I've just packed up all the website orders and things like that, so that I don't have to do them tomorrow, basically. So they're all done. So if you've received a notification today on a Sunday, that's why. It's because they're all done and just ready to be dropped off at the post office tomorrow morning. But I've had an email from a customer over in Canada who, it's been almost approaching 6 weeks and she hasn't had her order yet. Now, based on the last kind of figures when I asked you guys to tell me how post was doing, it was between 4 to 8 weeks, particularly to Canada and North America and things like that. Sometimes they just source straight through, depending on how big the parcel is. And again, depending on whether you're on the West Coast or the East Coast or whatever, or up in the mountains or whatever, it can take a little bit longer. But she asked about tracking. Now, normally or previously on the old website, if you wanted a parcel tracking, on the terms and conditions, I put down that you need to contact me first because tracked and signed for costs more than standard economy. It's just one of those things. It does. It's more expensive to track an item than it is just to send it normal post. Now, 99.9% of the time, sending it via international standard economy, there's no issue. Now, over the 6 years that I've been sending parcels around the world, I've only ever had a couple of issues. One to South Africa and one to New Zealand. And that was it with losing parcels. The one to South Africa, apparently the lady said back in the day when this happened that she's not surprised because not a lot of stuff actually gets to South Africa. From international anyway. And New Zealand, it was just one of those things. You can't control vans that are full of post crashing. You can't stop that kind of thing. What happened? I mean, we all remember seeing those pictures of that train in Los Angeles or in California where there was post all strewn down the tracks. You can't really prevent those sort of things from happening, and it's out of your control really. And what happens to that post? Does it eventually get picked up and then passed on, or what? You don't know. So from it going in the post box here in the UK to going over to Australia or going over to Italy or going over to Germany or going up to Denmark or going across to North America or to Canada, once it goes into the postal system on standard economy, that's it. I have no idea where it is in that journey. But that's the cheapest option. And I try to keep the post prices down as low as I possibly can to encourage you guys to buy. So on the new website, however, I've got the option of adding tracked and signed at the time of you going through the checkout. So the option is now there for anybody outside of the UK. So if you live in France or you live in Italy or you live in Germany or Austria or Switzerland or whatever, Portugal and Belgium, I don't want to miss anybody out. The option is there to go tracked and signed. So basically what that means is is that not only can it be tracked, but it has to be signed for at the other end. So you have to be in, or somebody has to be in to be able to sign for it to say that it's been delivered safely. And throughout that, there's an online facility for you to be able to track your parcel. So anybody in Europe, so Australia, New Zealand, North America and Canada, the option is now there for you to do tracked and signed at the time. You don't have to contact me at all. And when I send your notification that your order's been fulfilled, if you've got tracked and signed for, there will be a tracking number that you can track and find out where your parcel is. But it's a little bit more expensive, as with most things. So the option's there, the choice is there, and that's what the main thing is. It's having that choice to do it. So it's now there for anybody outside of the UK. If you're in the UK and you want to know why I've not done tracked and signed for the UK, it's because I've never lost anything with the UK Post in 6 years. So I don't really think it's necessary. You know, it's one of them things. It's never happened. So until it does, or until somebody asks about tracked and signed in the UK, we'll just carry on with a standard domestic postage. Right, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Sunday once I've got rid of the froth from the coffee on my tash. Can you not decide which toy to play with today? Oh, you want to play with Mr Raccoon? Mr Raccoon? Looks like you, look. You ready? Obviously somebody wants his breakfast. Poor Mr Ted. Lying abandoned, unloved and unwanted. So it's Monday, 11:30, according to the clock. It's raining again. It's a good title for a song, that, isn't it? So because I did all my website orders yesterday, I don't have to do them today. So instead, I've filled the day, or filled the morning, with doing my year-end accounts. Our year-end finished. It's a bit medieval, isn't it? Our year-end, financial year-end, finished at the end of March, and we started a brand new financial year on the 1st of April, which is why I wanted to get my new website launched on the 1st of April, so it was ready for that new financial year. So I've spent the morning putting all my invoices and all that kind of stuff, getting ready to finalise my year-end for 2021/2022. Ta-da! So yeah, it looks as though I'm going to have those done ahead of schedule, because we don't have the deadline for inputting our accounts for tax purposes for the government isn't until January, but you can do it before then. January is the deadline, if you like. So if I can get them done before that, then they're done, dusted, and we can forget about them until the following year, if you like. But I've also set up a new set of electronic accounts for me for the coming year, so April to March 23. But not only that, I've also done one for Ian, because he's hopeless. Even when you give him a full set of electronic accounts, so all he has to do is just to type in what he's paid out and what he's had coming in, he still leaves it to the last minute, because that's just the way he is. So anyway, so I've done that. So now I'm going to think about doing a project for tomorrow. I've got some new MDF ATCs, and I've been having a bit of a play this morning, just before I started doing what I was doing, with some new ultra thick embossing powder stroke glazes from Indigo Blue. So they're called Glorious, because they are. And I wanted to just have a quick play just to see how they worked together, how they played together. And I've created that this morning. and I've used purple, gold, green, a bit of red and some blues. Let me see how shiny those embossing glazes actually are. There's tons and tons of mica in them, and they're absolutely beautiful. And I was able to create that kind of galaxy effect, so it's like a glorious galaxy. Anyway, more on these glorious powders coming later, maybe next week. But that's not what I want to do today. So I want to do a set. I want to got loads and loads and loads of cast resin pieces, just small bits from the mould that I've never used. So I thought ATCs would be the perfect thing to use up those small pieces. So I'm going to do a little set of maybe either 6 or 8. Haven't decided. Depends on how long they take to create, whether I do 6 or 8. If they're dead easy and work really, really quickly, I'll do 8. But if it takes a little bit of time, I'll just do the 6. You'll have to wait and see. Mind you, by the time you're seeing this, you'll have seen it on Tuesday, because you'll be watching this from Thursday. So I hope you enjoyed it, even though I don't know what you've been watching yet, or how they turned out. So I've just taken a quick few-minute break, even before I got started, just to have a play with Mr Teddy, with Mr Bentley, and now he's a bit worn out, look. He's taken to his bed. So are you going to sit there with me while I do this project, while you recover? So it's one of those days today where I'm going to be in the car a bit. I'm just going down to the supermarket now to pick up a few essential items that we're running low on. I've found this old phone holder, which isn't ideal, but it'll do for the time being until I can get a new one that doesn't wobble as much. But yeah, because I haven't vlogged from the car for a while, so I'm just waiting for traffic so there's a gap so I can pull out. Yeah, and then this afternoon I'm going over to Mum and Dad's, pick Mum up. I'm taking her to see a chiropodist because her toenails need looking at, trimming, and you know, just kind of tidying up really. And she won't allow anybody else to touch her feet. So we've offered to do it for her, but no. So we've booked her into a chiropodist. Yeah, so, and I've not vlogged from the car for a while because I haven't had a phone holder, and I found this old one, which is a bit wobbly, but it'll do. It'll do for the time being until I can order a more stable one. The more stable ones tend to be quite flimsy though. Although they're stable and don't wobble the phone when you're recording, they're flimsy as in the components to them which break easy. Luckily, they're not that expensive. I need to try and find something like one of those GoPro phone mounts so that it's rock steady. But hey ho. I forgot to mention, Ian went to the doctor's yesterday for his annual checkup, and unfortunately they've told him that A, he's overweight, he's put on 10 pounds since last year, his cholesterol is also elevated, but not dangerously so, but it's higher than it was last year. So they've advised him to pay attention to his diet a little bit more. So he's got to pay more attention to the amount of potatoes and bread he's eating, and also the amount of sugar that he's eating through, you know, chocolate and sweets and candies, but also his biggest failing is through cookies and biscuits, and also what we call crisps, but what you Americans call chips, because he goes through a lot of those. So yeah, so he's got to cut down on all of those. Obviously I cut out sugar from, or refined sugars from, my diet as much as I possibly can at the beginning of April. So and I started looking at my weight a bit more seriously at the beginning of April. So so that's basically, it means that both of us are now on serious diets, because it's difficult to diet when there's only one of you doing it, because if the other one doesn't want to diet, it's difficult to cook 2 different kind of meals every time. So now that he's more serious about looking at what he's eating, it means we can plan proper kind of low fat, healthier meals together and see if we can try and shed some of these pounds. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.